Rolling.
Cool. All right, version 2. So this is it, just kind of like closed. There's a little bit of Velcro strategically placed around. But start on this side. Just have little Dyneema loops. Eventually those will probably be spliced and look all pretty. So we have 3 of those. And this is stitched onto 1-inch webbing that's on the inside. Back down here. So this is about 6.5 feet from head to toe. So it can fit a pretty tall dude. There's a little loops right here. And then this folds up. And then there's a piece of this 1-inch webbing. It's like really lightweight 1-inch webbing right back here. And then there's these straps. If you have to grab it and pull with a rope from the feet. Same thing over here. 3 more Dyneema loops. And then coming up to the head. So this has a dedicated hood. This I can already tell is like too much material and not rigid enough, but there's the nitronol or something. There's a little wire in here to create the memory. And this has to be changed a little bit, but this is going to be more of a hood. This is going to be less material, probably like that, something like that. Yeah, something like that is going to be the final product. Just get rid of like just a little bit of this material over here. And this white Dyneema has more rigidity to it. So I'm thinking not using this lightweight stuff here. Just to help keep like snow and shit from getting in. I think that's going to be like super important. So that's going to be something like that. But then this wire is money because it just adds like a little hood. And it like comes down. It's going to come to this side. And while we're talking about the back, and then the back side, there's just another thing of horizontal webbing with loops where you can connect a rope and tug and pull. So look at the back before I open it up. Very minimal stitching and webbing. The webbing is just the horizontal ones are up here, essentially where this goes. And then all the horizontal webbing on the is inside, which is minimal stitching to really take advantage of the slipperiness of this, so you can drag them across the snow. Okay. Now we open it up. So it's all about these vertical runners. These vertical runners is what connects to here. So you're pulling on the vertical runners themselves in line. There's an attachment, this little like hood thing, and this is made for a sleeping pad. And there's, right now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little loops on each side. For different attachment ports for different reasons. So that's a little attachment point, and then it's hooked up over here. So this prevents it from sliding down. I'm considering having 2 of these available, so you can kind of like hook into here and cocoon this thing in so the sleeping pad really stays in place. We'll see, maybe this is enough. I won't know until we actually get like a human in it on snow and like on a slope, but I think this is gonna be a game changer from like having reports of people having this sleeping pad slide all over the place. Let's get the mannequin in. Something like that. So I forget exactly how tall this is, but, you know, close to 6 feet. And then we have to do video number 2.
Cut.
Nah, he's fine. Yeah, he's just barking. It's fine. It's just going to my friends.
Cool. It's rolling.
So then up here, there's a little slot that we made. And this slot is to help add, like, use what you already have with you. So you have a shovel, you can shove the shovel in. Actually make that extended. This might be too long. Yeah, the shovel's too long. I can just go with a shorter version. But depending on the shovel handle, you can kind of grab it with this. And then there's a loop in here that you can pull. Yeah, right here. To tighten it down and kind of like hold it in place. So that adds a little bit of rigidity. So now when I go to pull on Homeboy, it helps it from collapsing in on itself. And we take a look at what like a probe would do. Slide this in. So when you pull on this, see how that stays nice and rigid now? To the best of its ability, I mean, it's a piece of fucking cloth. So that way, there's a little bit of rigidity to it, so it doesn't fully collapse in on the patient. I mean, it's still going to a little bit, but it is what it is. Okay. So there's that. Most likely gonna add a second one of those of some sorts down here as well for the feet. Now got this. Close them in. And right now, the thought process behind having the Velcro here instead of like right here is when this closes, it creates a little extra of a fold to help keep the snow out. Time will tell. Yeah, then the Velcro, everything in the Velcro just matches. Okay. Now this, the extra down here, and even if they're longer, you just get like a less of a curl, but this comes up and this grabs their feet. So that way if they're going down, you don't get snow going inside, and it kind of gives them a platform. And then you can take these straps. Most likely gonna end up going with probably something like this with like a clip. We'll see. But you take this, and girth hitch it on. Okay, so that just grabs that. And then on the sides here, for the handles, you can clip into these loops. And that holds this up. You're gonna do one on each side. This is another style I got going. It's a smaller G-hook. It has a little closure to it, but we'll see. A lot of this will have to get worked out on the snow. Something like this. And yeah, just like clip it onto this already existing point. And just pull that tight. Okay, so that's done. Now you can see you have access to these straps down here. And again, if they were taller, you just have to lift their feet up, but it's still going to be pulling from the verticals. To close them in, Ooh, I want to go over one thing. We have that. Another thing is if you're actually injured, say they actually have like a knee injury, and you want to support one of their legs being up. This is where I might create something with like these straps, or you just use like a single strand Purcell prusik or a prusik itself. Get the foot. Then these hooks are kind of all over the place. You take something like that, and you can see how that's pulling up on their foot. You take something like a carabiner. And there's other plans I have for this. I don't know if it's gonna be big enough. Barely. This is a lot of gear right now, but it's the concept of like, okay, this is their good leg, this is their hurt leg. Their good leg's now pulling down through this vertical webbing. And kind of, hopefully the thought is to help them support themselves from keeping any injury, like, from getting pushed up against the bottom of this. We'll see. We'll see if these vertical runners do anything like that. The other thing, with all of this, if they have a harness on, you can do something similar where their belay loop would be right here. This isn't going to be long enough, but there's two little attachment points up here, and you could start taking like little hooks like this and hooking them down here, and then maybe do another one over here to their belay loop. Like that, so that would be something like this. These little attachment points. And this would go to their belay loop, and then you just pull it tight. And now, from this point, which is going to be countered from the pull of the rope, through the belay loop to help hold them like up in position. Again, I don't know until we actually get a human in here on snow to see if it actually does anything. But that's the theory. Finish closing this. Again, yeah, the hood. I want the hood to be more like that. You know, with the helmet on, so snow doesn't get in. You can use this thing in conjunction with a sked cone. But yeah, something like that, maybe even more of a curl and cover their face. But at a minimum, I want the snow to be blocked, like right here, when they're getting dragged. So that looks like it would be tricky to use how it is. Okay. This, feet are closed. Okay, and a couple more of these straps. We're just reusing the same points to kind of keep all this together. You can see the little hooks go right on there. So now, something like that. And over here, I'm making sure that the material kind of gets pinched closed. You know, so if I have to add a tuck, I could add a tuck, and that way snow doesn't get in. We have 3 of those that we can do. We'll double up on this one over here. I'm gonna tell these loops are gonna have to be a little bit bigger. There we go. You know, down here, you know, be thoughtful of, you know, if they actually were injured, if I actually need this one or not. But I really want to cocoon this person in. These straps kind of cinch up all this extra material. So there's that too. That's pulled closed. That's closed. You know, if I want, I could cross these if I wanted to. You gotta really do whatever you need to. Sure. I clip that to that. This one to this one. Down here. So I just made an X with this instead. You know, if that closes the material the best, so be it. Now,
I'm chilling. It's like, you won't get a more dynamic video than this right now, dude.
now, yeah, I really want that, like, it's got to be fixed. The concept's there, though. You can see the wire. You know, if I wanted to, I take this and I could tie the patient in. I could do all kinds of stuff. You know, for right now, so, you know, so I could, this could go to their belay loop, this end, tied in. You know, that comes over, and then something like that. Up here, then I just made a fixed point. I'm not too worried. Even if it's like that, I'm not really all that worried. So, prototype 2.